Guys, Jennifer from Thou Shall Not Whine here, and I wanted to walk you through a module, the first module of the of Apologia's second edition of marine biology. We were sent the student text, the student notebook, which is a wonderful, I'll show you that too, and the tests and solutions set, and then they also sent us the audio CD. Yay! So let's dive. Let's dive. I meant dive or jump, but I guess we can say jive. We're gonna dive right in. Let's see. So there's some notes. Oh, okay. So like most Apologia sciences in the upper grades, the high school levels, it is targeted toward the self-directed student, the kid who can work on his own or her own and just need minimal input and help from mom other than or dad. There are homeschool dads with like experiments and grading and that kind of stuff. So there's a whole bunch of instruction here in the front for the kids. And let's see, grab my page. So here's our table of comments. Our table of comments. Good gravy. How about contents? Table of contents. There we go. And it goes through, for the norm with Apologia, all the different modules. There are 16 modules, I believe. Yep, 16 modules. And then you've got the welcome, and everything is written in that wonderful conversational style by one author. So you've got that Charlotte Mason flair working for you. And one of the things that I really, really like, okay, there are many things that I really like about Apologia's science textbooks. Normally, I'm not a textbook kind of gal. I don't really use them a whole lot in our homeschool. This would be the exception, though. Apologia does a fantastic job of making textbooks that are not textbooky, if that makes sense to you. It's very, very visual. Lots of color. Lots of graphs. They've got the on your own, like they usually have, and the kids can go through, they read, they do basically comprehension questions, keep going. The plate tectonics, okay, so obviously because it's center and bolded, this is going to be a vocabulary word that the kids are going to want to know for an upcoming quiz or test. And it keeps going, very colorful. Think about this. These are, I just lost my train of thought. My goodness. The think about this are fun little added, added things, just to add some depth to whatever they're reading about. And the experiments. So many experiments. Experiments. We did one, I think this was the one that we did. There will be pictures of that one on the blog. There's the rest of the instructions over there. And I believe the first module, just kind of let you see the pages here. I love the colorfulness. I love how, see, it doesn't, I mean, there's a lot of information there, but the way that it's presented, it's not, oh, great, I gotta read another page. Oh, I gotta blah, blah, blah. It's, I would almost say a pleasure. I'd almost say a pleasure to read. Still in module 1, by the way, just flipping through, and I think we're on page 35. Okay, so now on page 37 you've got the answers to all the on your owns that the student would have done as they read. They read the on your own, read the on your own, and then once they get back here, they can check their answers, or actually I wouldn't do that. I would have them check the answers after they have done them. That way they can correct them right then and there. And actually, I'm pretty sure that that's what they tell the student to do in here. Okay, here, more on your own answers. Study guide, the study guide for Module 1. And we've used general science, we've used chemistry, we've used biology, we've used many, and then that's just the high school level. We've got astronomy and, creatures of the fifth day, not creatures, mammals or whatever it is, or maybe it is creatures. I don't know. We've got the flying, we've got the walking, we've got the swimming, we've got all these Apologia books. We love Apologia science. But in the high school level, you've got the study guide, which, here it is written out. You got your define your terms and then answer the questions. And before, more on the back, there's module 2. Before, you would either have to just write out your answer, which I don't like. I don't like that. I hate being handed a piece of paper with the answer on it. Okay, well, that's great, but can I have a complete sentence, please? Can I see what the question was, please? And I don't want the kid to have to lug the book around with me. Of course, I made him, but, I didn't like it. But the new student notebook that goes with this, I should have bookmarked the page. I'll show you all that stuff. Oh, look, okay, I'll show you this. See that? That's a schedule, ladies and gentlemen. That, again, come on, a student notebook. Self-directed student notebook, independent child can go through and check off what they've done. They know when to do what. The book says that if they work roughly 45 minutes a day through, 5 days a week, they're going to get this done in about 32 weeks. But that does leave some wiggle time because, most homeschools go 36 weeks. So you've got some grace, and grace is always good. Okay, note pages. Page number. I like that. Not just the date. Obviously, we know what subject it is. So if you had like a regular notebook that you bought at Walmart for 17 cents, you'd have to write the date and you'd have to write science and you'd have to do all that stuff. But it's all in here for you. And I like how you can write maybe some definitions over here and then your big notes over here. And you've got your pages. So you know where you found that information. Okay, so lots of note-taking pages. Wonderful. My daughter, she likes to have her own notebook. But anyway, okay, so I think about this: personal thoughts connecting science and creation. So there's a little reflection page, but then you've got your on your own questions. Okay, back to the on your own questions. So in all the other Apologia high school books, high school ones, okay, here's one. You just have the on your own written in here. And then they would either, sometimes I'd have them verbally, like I'd say, what gives water many of its unusual properties? Then they would answer me. Usually the on your own, I wouldn't make them write down. However, the study guide, I would make them write those answers out. So, so here, it's over here. Isn't that great? So now they can just write it out. Again, you don't have that mystery, well, what was the question when you hand it to mom? It's right there. And check that out. Do you see that? Do you see what that says? Study guide questions. It's in the book. It's in the book. I love that. I cannot tell you how much I love this. And then you've got the summary, which is fill in the blank. Okay, great. So we've got fill in the blank. We've got the short answer. And I believe if I go back here, we got more because it covers the whole thing. Nope. Okay, so that was it. And then you're into module 2 note pages. Okay, so pros and cons. The notebook, obviously, I love that the study guide questions are all here. It's all together. In the back, you've got all of it in the back. No, it's not. These are the experiments. They've got the experiments written out in here. They've got, look at that, all of your experiment notebooking pages that you're going to need. This way you don't have to keep a separate experiment notebook or lab notebook or whatever it is you want to call it. It's all in one spot. So that's great. They've got note pages. They've got the study guide in here. They've got the on your own in here. It's all in one spot. Perfect, right? Well, kind of. Look at the size of that. It's pretty thick. For someone who's using this at home and doesn't have to lug it anywhere, perfect. It can sit in your cubby or your shoebox or whatever it is that you use to hold your school items. But if you have to carry this somewhere, I mean, this is heavy. Look at that. Look how big it is. It's almost as big as the text itself. But other than the cumbersomeness of it, it's great. And I'll take the cumbersomeness, if that's even a word, because it's got everything in it, and this is your proof that you did your work. This is your lab notebook. If colleges require it for your transcripts or whatever, you just rip this out. Not rip it out, whip it out. All right, we've got our comments. We're ripping out our book. And what was the other thing that I said? Jive. We're jiving in. Goodness, I'm a mess today. And then, last but certainly not least, is the audiobook. I wouldn't call it audiobook. It is the, I think it says audiobook, doesn't it? It does. It's the textbook read to you by, what is her name? What is her name? Right there. Marissa Lienhart? And her, okay, I love audiobooks. I love when I don't have to read a textbook because it is being read to me, because I am a phonetic person. So if I see something, a word I don't know, I'm going to sound it out phonetically, which usually means it's wrong because